Hey guys, this is Chetan for Gizmo Times and you're watching a quick comparison of the OPPO K3 and the Vivo Z1 Pro. OPPO's K3 is recently launched and it comes with the 6.5-inch display, the in-display fingerprint sensor as well as the pop-up selfie camera. On the other side, the Vivo Z1 Pro comes with the similar screen size but it has the in-display camera and the fingerprint on the back, but there are quite a lot of other differences as well, which we are going to talk about. And this is a quick spec comparison, not more than that, so you'll be knowing how do these phones actually differ and which one should be a better choice. But we haven't done the full camera comparison because the OPPO K3 has just arrived and we'll be doing the separate camera comparison later. Let's talk about the design first. In these phones you can see that both have the gradient design, and it's totally about the personal choice. And in a way you see the gradient back on both the Vivo Z1 Pro has the vertical arrangement, and the OPPO K3 has somewhat kind of the S shaped here, and it has a better design. Personally for me, I felt this one has a better gradient design, and that was even the same thoughts for me when I compared this with the Realme X. Both have the plastic back, it's not a glass back, so there's no difference that way. And the camera arrangement as well seemed better for me on the OPPO K3. Now with the display, both of them have the same display size, the resolution is the same, and the protection given on the OPPO K3 is the Gorilla Glass 5. We aren't sure about the protection on the Vivo Z1 Pro yet, and the resolution stays the same, 1080 to 2380 pixels, but the technology is where they differ, and the OPPO K3 takes the lead with the AMOLED display that is included here compared to the IPS LCD display on the Vivo Z1 Pro. Though frankly I haven't felt that the Vivo Z1 Pro has a bad display at all because of the IPS LCD technology, but still AMOLED has its own advantages where blackening the screen would actually help save the battery, and also the colors sometimes feel more vibrant on the K3, so that way I would say that the display is better on the OPPO K3. With the internal specs, it's a Snapdragon 712 on the Vivo Z1 Pro, which is almost similar to the Snapdragon 710 that powers the OPPO K3, and the GPU is same on both of them. It's Adreno 616 GPU on both the phones, so no difference in that way. But let's check the scores for the Antutu benchmark that we took for both the phones. Then you'll know whether they actually differ with that benchmarks and all. It's actually quite different there, almost 30,000 points of difference on the Vivo Z1 Pro when compared to the OPPO K3. And even with the Geekbench scores, it was the same way. The Vivo Z1 Pro actually had a better score. But I would say in real life, I haven't felt the Snapdragon 710 to do any bad job either. And even with the graphic settings possible in gaming, it's almost the same there as well. With the variants, there are multiple variants on both of them. The OPPO K3 comes with the 6GB as the minimum RAM option, while the Vivo Z1 Pro comes with 4GB as the minimum option for the RAM. And storage options are obviously there with the 128GB for both the options. And Vivo Z1 Pro comes with 6GB as the maximum amount of RAM possible, but the OPPO K3 comes with 8GB of RAM as the maximum possible option for the storage as well. So there's 8 plus 128 option given on the OPPO K3 when compared to the Vivo C1 Pro that has the best of 6 plus 128, and the pricing anyway differs in both of them. And then with the cameras, I felt that Vivo's Z1 Pro has an edge over the K3 because of the fact that it has the wide angle camera. That's the 8 megapixel camera. The first camera on the top is that 8 megapixel wide angle camera, which helps take the landscape pictures, and that is not possible with the OPPO K3 because it has a 16 megapixel f1.7 regular camera and a 2 megapixel depth sensing camera. On the Vivo's phone, that's a 16 megapixel f1.7 rear camera, but along with that you also have the 2 megapixel depth sensor. So it's almost the same with both of them having the primary and the secondary one, but the wide angle camera on the Vivo Z1 Pro would actually give it an edge over the OPPO K3. So frankly I would say that in case you are someone who wants to do a lot with the photography and might be someone who's taking landscape pictures as well, you should go with the Vivo Z1 Pro, but otherwise the OPPO K3 does quite a good job. With the selfie camera, you would actually see that there's no in-display camera on this OPPO K3, but it's there on the Vivo Z1 Pro, and it's a 32 megapixel selfie camera as the in-display camera on the Z1 Pro, while it's the pop-up or the motorized camera on the OPPO K3, which is a 16 megapixel one, and both of them actually have quite a good quality with the selfies. So I would not rate one over the other. It's almost the same for both of them. but the placement is quite unique. So you might have to see which one actually you like for a longer term purpose. If you feel that this is annoying and part of the display wasn't something you wanted, you obviously could go with the K3. But if someone who's skeptical about the usage of pop-up cameras for a longer run, you could go end up with this one back to the Vivo Z1 Pro. Now continuing with the security part, there's face unlock for both of them, but the fingerprint sensor on the Vivo Z1 Pro is present on the back of the device, while it's the in-display fingerprint sensor on the OPPO K3, which is a small advantage for the K3 because it brings in the latest technology, and that should be a better choice for the users. Though the Vivo Z1 Pro again is something that has the regular fingerprint sensor and it works quite well. It's actually quite fast in recognizing and registering, but there's no difference in the OPPO K3 because it also has a faster response in the fingerprint sensor. So again, that brings you back to the same choice about whether you need something about the latest tech, similar to how it was with the pop-up camera. So if you are someone who's looking forward to the best of the technologies, the in-display fingerprint sensor is quite a good thing now, and it's present on the OPPO K3. With the battery, clearly you know that the Vivo Z1 Pro should be a better choice. It's a 5000 mAh battery compared to the 3765 mAh battery on the OPPO K3. So the Vivo Z1 Pro obviously would give a better battery life, and it runs the FunTouch OS over Android 9 Pie, while it's Color OS over Android 9 Pie on the OPPO K3. And the battery charging as well differs here. The battery charging should be much faster on the OPPO K3 because it comes with a 20-watt support, that's VOOC 3.0 support for charging the 3765 mAh battery. Obviously it should take much lesser time when compared to the Vivo Z1 Pro that has a 18-watt charging support, which is not slow, which is also fast, almost close to the VOOC charging. But the dual engine fast charge technology will anyway take time for the larger battery, that's a 5000 mAh battery. So it depends again, that if you don't want it to go to 100% and are good enough with half of charge for a day's usage, you could go with the Vivo Z1 Pro here because it has a longer battery life as well. If you're doing something like an overnight charge every night, so there I would say that the Vivo Z1 Pro should be a better choice because you could charge it to 5000 mAh every day, the 100%, and get a better battery life. And the final point about the connectivity here, the OPPO K3 comes with the USB Type-C port, the Vivo Z1 Pro comes with the micro USB port. The speaker is present towards the bottom on both of them, but with the micro SD card slot, the OPPO K3 doesn't have a slot for the storage expansion, so you'll have to rely on the internal storage, but this comes with a dedicated micro SD card slot, so you can expand the storage on the Vivo Z1 Pro whenever you want. So that was the quick comparison of the OPPO K3 and the Vivo Z1 Pro. In some ways, I would say that the K3 is better because of the fact that it has the motorized camera, it has the in-display fingerprint sensor, and a better looking design. But otherwise, the battery life on the Vivo Z1 Pro is better, as well as it has a wide-angle camera. So it totally depends on your choice on what you want. Even a better display on the OPPO K3. So it brings back to what you actually want from a phone in this price range, rather than which one is better than the others, because both of them have their own advantages. So this was a quick comparison of the OPPO K3 and the Vivo Z1 Pro. I hope you like this video. If you do share and subscribe to Gizmo for more. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video.